Amara's journey along the fourth chakra green path of opening to love. Amara is a beautiful, dynamic, deep, spiritual woman who comes from a wealthy family that is privileged and highly politically connected. She is highly spiritual and connected to the principles of yoga, Vedanta, Buddhism, Hinduism, and various other Eastern religions and philosophies. She has a rich understanding of karma, astrology, karmic patterns, shamanism, and nature. She had experienced many deep spiritual journeys and processes that had revealed insight into her past lives. She found me through my Awakening Intuition online e-course, which she found to be very helpful in illuminating her access to her past life information. She shared with me one of the more significant journeys she had experienced, in which she was able to see herself in the distant past as a trusted advisor to the authority, where she was attempting to get them to understand about a trap that was being laid for her town. Her town was exceptional in that it had prospered highly during 3 centuries of peace. The people enjoyed an idyllic lifestyle of abundance and stability and peace. She had been the advisor to the ruler for many decades and brought her unique gifts to the ears of the powerful. She had been warned that fear would cause the downfall of the town and had been hyper-vigilant each time this demon raised its ugly head. Her psychic visions had allowed her to gain insight into the bigger picture of what was happening. There had been fear of invasion in a neighboring town that needed the extra protection of her townsmen. This fear caused those in power to make poor choices about their own well-being, which is something that fear consistently does, and they allowed their men and the town's protection to go elsewhere. This, of course, left her town's women and children vulnerable, and their own town open to invasion. She knew that others viewed her and her community as a problem because she was so powerful, and she had been targeted as a witch. She had a reputation for being powerful in her capacity for compassion and unconditional love, and advised the authority with this power for a long time. She had contributed to the great success of the town. It had been rumored that she had the much coveted and highly elusive 2 hearts, the second being just to the right of the first, and possessing the quality of unconditional love, which is a reality on an energetic level. The heart chakra actually has 2 orbs, 2 energetic locations. Myth had propagated the idea that if you steal that extra heart, you could easily embody its qualities. She had the foresight to know what was coming as the men marched away and her warnings went unheeded. This time the fear was too great, greater than the capacity for wisdom of the community to prevail, and poor choices were made. Fear had won its battle with the light, and she and the town were left vulnerable to attack. The following day they came in their thousands, and it didn't take long for 3 of them to chase her down, pin her to the ground, rip open her side, pull apart her ribs, reach inside, and rip out her heart. Amara actually recalled how this felt and relived this entire experience in a regression session. As difficult as that was to re-experience, she actually felt a reclamation of essential energy after the process. It was as if this remembering actually liberated her from the wound itself and allowed her to heal and rebalance her energy. which of course is exactly what these processes do. She also shared with me that her astrological chart had revealed to her that this lifetime was about coming into her power, and that journey for her was intimately connected to her romantic relationships and the integration of her sexual energy with her fierceness and her unconditional love. Some years ago, she had been strongly attracted to Crete and could not resist the urge to visit. She arrived at the site of the Palace of Knossos and felt an instant recognition, a sense of and feeling of returning home. After completing the tour, so many flashes of recognition had occurred that she felt certain that the past life she had re-experienced was here in Crete. So much of the information that she had gathered confirmed this reality, to the point that she was able to clearly see what had caused the downfall of this utopian society. After the tsunami hit, the people lost their faith, their innocence, and their trust in life. This led them to fall into a fear-based group consciousness and society, which eroded their strength and left them vulnerable to invasion from Greece, a much less evolved society at the time. Amara felt that the reason she was so compelled to help people overcome their fear was because she witnessed the downfall of her beloved utopian community and was heartbroken to witness exactly how destructive fear was. Amara seemed to always be in relationship, and these relationships were aligned with her spiritual growth. By flowing with synchronicity, she was able to connect with her erotic soulmates. This supported her into the evolutionary edges of her soul, but brought her straight into somewhat psychologically unhealthy, but spiritually necessary experiences. This time, she found someone who was living on the edge of going to prison for a minor offense alongside a felony past. So it added up to a second strike for him, and to him potentially having the book thrown at him. Through his last breakup, he caused some damage to the property that he shared with his partner at the time and managed to navigate himself into a restraining order that forced a premature close on a relationship that had not yet naturally completed. Amara's edges of growth reside in learning how to respond differently in the center of conflict, instead of reacting with fear and her usual automatic self-protective mechanisms that can only create separation and distance. She needed to learn that she can expand into creating enough space to give her choices. This way, she may be able to respond with the compassion that she can so effortlessly extend to her clients and has, as yet, been unable to extend to her partners. Her habitual pattern was one of responding with anger whenever her partners entered into their fear-based patterns. A teacher of compassion who was unable to extend compassion to the person that she loved the most when they are lost in their wound, in their illusion, and in their fear. Seeing her partner in fear re-stimulated her and triggered her into a need to fight for clarity, which only resulted in her partners consistently shutting down, which resulted in truth being eluded, polarity, and ultimately separation happening. She had also entered the question of whether or not she kept herself small and disconnected from her potential by connecting with men who would anchor in survival issues and prevent her from flourishing into her creative projects, which were too numerous to mention. This, of course, is a function of a contracted and fearful mind and heart. This particular crisis in relationship had brought her to herself with deeper, more searching questions that forced her to reevaluate everything that she thought she had known about herself. This is not unusual when we are confronted with the edges of our deepest spiritual growth. She noticed that her creativity actually increased each time she got connected to intensity, instability, and chaos in relationships. She wanted peace, passion, love, and creativity together, and secretly feared that this may not be possible. She wanted an experience of life that was fully alive, yet felt unclear about how to achieve that aliveness and intensity without destruction. She was aware of the Buddhist concept of relaxed wakefulness and wondered if this truly was the path to attaining her full potential. She wondered if this was really available to her without being a devout practitioner. She wanted to learn how to respond differently, with compassion instead of anger, fear, judgment, and disdain, each time her partner lost himself inside his own patterns, inside his own fear. A handy excuse for her to be consumed with something other than dealing with her own pattern, her own illusions, her own fear. It's amazing the lengths we will go to avoid confronting the edges of our own internal growth. We literally create destruction and devastation in our lives and those that we love over confronting ourselves. Our fear of going inside is so great. We fear the same experience of overwhelm we had in our history, sweeping us up in tornadoes of emotion that we assume we cannot successfully navigate, let alone eventually master. This fear, this assumption, is the cause of most addictions and self-protective mechanisms that create distance and separation, pain and heartbreak, even death. She came to me to ensure that she had nowhere to hide this time, and she truly wanted to be liberated from this trap that created nothing but unhappiness and separation from love, her love for herself, and her love for her lover and her life. As we moved towards examining her mental patterns, there were many clues that lay in the foundation and the information uncovered in the past life regressions. The time spent in Crete had left such a huge imprint on her soul, the idea that she had to eradicate all fear whenever she encountered it in others. She had pinpoint clarity in identifying it, revealing it, and supporting it and transforming it. This mechanism served her well in her work, but in her personal relationships it took on a different form that was much more problematic and disruptive. For her, this mechanism took on a very self-critical and judgmental edge. Whenever fear arose in herself and her partners, instead of being supportive and compassionate, she became frustrated and judgmental. This lack of compassion and empathy indicates a deficiency in the heart chakra. Because of her deep connection to her wounds, I asked what she thought her negative cycle of thought might be, to see how closely that aligned with her subconscious expression. She was able to identify that she was afraid of losing herself inside the chaos and destruction of her partner, and she felt trapped inside a prison of limitation and loneliness, away from the world of possibilities that she could connect with when she was not inside this stress. As always with fourth chakra wounding, an essential healing affirmation to ground the energy in truth is you are the master of your emotions. As with all my clients, after lots of observation, it is easy to recognize the energy that is highly charged and carrying a strong creative potential. In this case, Amara was so afraid of losing love that the possibility of creating that outcome becomes almost inevitable. Here is how the conversation with Amara's subconscious went. The thing I'm most afraid of is having my heart broken. And the reason why is I wouldn't survive it. And the reason why is death. And the reason why is I will be unloved and alone. And the reason, because I'm so angry. And the reason I'm so angry is because I've been judged. And the reason I've been judged is because I'm not lovable. And the reason I'm not lovable is because I judge. And the reason I judge is because people get it wrong. And the reason people get it wrong is because I'm afraid that I'm not lovable or loved. Amara managed to get right to the root of the pattern quickly. It was so close to the surface and she was so ready to be free from the pattern, as it was also consistent with what she was aware of consciously. We went to the opposite positive along with the 4 chakra affirmations, and this is a script that we created for a healing journey. You are strong, and you really are able to endure any emotional experience with grace and courage. You really can endure any emotional challenge and be better for the experience. You know that when you get hurt, you heal perfectly well and remain whole and become stronger. You now surrender to divine love and trust and know that you are perfectly loved and lovable already as you are. You've learned how to respond effectively to emotional challenges so that you're always in charge of your choices. You're free of judgments and free of the good opinion of others. You allow people to be themselves and experience what they need to experience to get to where they are going on their own journey. You allow your partners to experience the full spectrum of their emotions, and you trust they will arrive at the end point that serves them best. You surrender to love and trust in yourself and in others. You now fully allow yourself to give and receive love. You feel your heart opening to allow love to flow throughout your body, throughout your life, and into all of your relationships. Your loving potential is limitless, and you now commit to realize your potential. It is safe for you to love with all the love that is in your heart. It is safe for you to receive love in all its various forms. You surrender to receiving all the love in the universe. You are worth loving. You have a kind and compassionate heart that is safe for you to share with the world. After about 2 weeks into her program, Amara was exposed to what it was like to be on the receiving end of her pattern. Very often when we invite change, the universe supports our positive intention and so reveals all the obstacles to change. Her boyfriend supported the final liberation of her pattern through conscious choice. He got mad at her for being in her fear. Witnessing him do this hurt her so much that she vowed never to do that again, never to him or anyone else. This choice allowed her to raise her unconscious pattern into the level of conscious choice, which is ultimately where we all need to arrive in order for full liberation to happen. It happened beautifully, clearly, and directly for Amara. The tools and the practices that I provide in this program support you in being armed with awareness and fortified with nutritious thinking and feeling patterns, so that when confronted with an opportunity in life to make a choice, you are ready and able to do so. If you feel you want the MP3s and the yoga videos that support you in deepening your own fourth chakra alignment, these are all available to you at a discounted rate, and you can proceed to the end now to see these offers if you feel like they will serve you. As you progress down the path of rebalancing this chakra, you support yourself in reclaiming any lost inspiration towards love and intimacy. This energy will naturally emerge as you confront and integrate all the injuries from your past that caused you to build the walls of self-protection. You will find yourself feeling motivated and interested in moving towards romantic opportunities. The courage that is necessary to take this leap of faith will emerge, and you will be strengthened and energized inside the vulnerability of falling in love. Let's begin with slow, gentle breaths through the nose and soft, easy exhales out of the mouth. Inhaling and reclaiming your energy from any place where it may have been distracted throughout the day, throughout the week. Inhaling through the crown of the head, descending through the central channel of the body, and arriving in the home of the belly. Placing your hands on either side of the navel. Exhaling and releasing anything that isn't yours, anyone else's energy. You release on the flow of the outward breath. Inhaling and reclaiming, exhaling and releasing. Noticing the breath without changing the breath right now. Noticing how it feels in this body, in this moment. On the next inhale, we're going to expand the belly. Open the ribs, open the chest, and pause here for a moment. Then exhale, deflating the chest first, then the ribs, finally the belly. Pulling the navel towards the spine. Inhaling, expanding the belly, opening the ribs, the chest, pausing here, then deflating the chest, the ribs, finally the belly, pulling the navel towards the spine. Continue with this breathing and notice how relaxed you feel in this body, in this moment. You have relaxed your body now, and you have emptied your mind. You have released and let go of all thoughts now, and you have opened up the access into your subconscious. And we will be releasing any and all information that your conscious mind is ready and willing and eager to see. And this is easy and effortless for you to do And you are completely safe, completely supported as I guide you through your journey. And you will build a bridge that enables you to have easy and direct access to your subconscious. Now gently focus your awareness both internally and externally into the area of your heart. Become aware of a channel that runs through the center of your body and houses your chakras. Your fourth chakra is located in the center of your chest, the area of your heart. And this energy center extends its energy into the front and the back of the body. Gently place your hands over your fourth chakra now. Now see a beautiful green wheel of light moving like a fan in a clockwise direction. And this light allows all illusion and all misperception to be illuminated and brought up to consciousness as you allow your inhale to become deeper and more extended for a count of 4, and your exhale to be surrendered for a count of 2. Inhaling deeply and enthusiastically through an open mouth, and softly surrendering the exhale through an open mouth. Breathing, feeling, as you now allow any and all information that is stored in your fourth chakra to surface to your conscious mind now, integrating any unfinished emotional experience, integrating into your body, into your mind, everything that you are willing and ready to see, to know, to complete. And you do this by attending to your breath, inhaling deeply and enthusiastically through an open mouth for a count of 4, and softly surrendering on the exhale for a count of 2, being careful not to blow out the breath. Simply surrender the breath. Now, as you are breathing, invite your subconscious mind to release to your consciousness everything that you are now ready and able to see. Invite all of your fears to surface, seeing them as the misperceptions and illusions that they are, so that now any and all fears that are associated to the past, related to the experience of love and all of its associated emotions, allow them to be brought to the surface now. Ideas and beliefs, illusions and misperceptions about how safe it is to give or receive love, any ideas about how much love is available to you, any wounding experiences that you had with your family, with your parents, and their ability to love. Allow all this information to come up to the consciousness now. Allow yourself to know the truth about how powerful you feel in your relationships. How powerful do you feel in relationship to your own emotions? Do you feel that you are the master of your emotions? Do you feel that you are in control? Did you feel emotionally supported in childhood? Were you shown how to love? Now stay present with the breath. Fully feel all your physical sensations and bring in the breath. Allow any and all information that is stored in your fourth chakra to surface to your conscious mind, integrating any unfinished emotional experience now, integrating into your body and into your mind everything that you are willing and ready to complete. You do this by being present with your body, by attending to your breath, inhaling deeply and fully for a count of 4, and exhaling softly for a count of 2. Your information may come in the form of pictures or symbols, or it may come in the form of language. Whatever form it wants to take, allow it to come into your conscious awareness now. Simply trust. Trust that you now have access to whatever you are ready and able to see. Breathing. Deep, enthusiastic inhale through an open mouth for a count of 4. A soft, surrendered exhale for a count of 2. Know that you are completely safe, completely supported, right here and right now, breathing, feeling, staying connected to any and all physical sensations as they move through your body now. All of the information that surfaces will be easily and effortlessly available to you to recall as you write in your journal when you are awake and out of this process. You have created the intention and the invitation for all fears, illusions, and misperceptions to be available to your conscious mind now. Inhaling deeply and fully for a count of 4, and exhaling softly for a count of 2, allowing yourself to fully connect to and feel your feelings, knowing and trusting that this allows your emotions to heal, giving you the opportunity to master your emotions, to master your feelings, learning to relate to your emotions as energy in motion through your body, feeling your feelings as physical sensations, so that you can now liberate yourself from any and all emotional wounds that exist in this chakra. And as you visualize a beautiful green wheel of light circulating like a fan in a clockwise direction, as it moves, it heals and it clears, removing all obstacles and all blockages, allowing you to create space so that you can remember the truth of who you are, the truth of who you are as a spirit and as a soul. As you recall now a memory of a time when you felt completely loved, when you felt love for yourself or for someone in your life, and recall all of the wonderful details around that special experience, and feel that feeling of love emanate from your heart center, and feel it touch every cell in your body. And now take a nice deep breath as you allow yourself to bask in that beautiful emotion now. As you exhale, allow that emotion to emanate from your heart center into every cell in your body. As you now allow yourself to remember the truth of who you are, the truth of who you are as a spirit and as a soul, as you now surrender to love and trust in yourself and in others, you now fully allow yourself to give and receive love. You feel your heart opening to allow love to flow throughout your life, throughout your body, and into your relationships now. As your loving potential is limitless, and you now commit to realize your full potential, it is safe for you to receive love in all its various forms. As you surrender to receiving all of the love that is in your heart, it is safe for you to receive love in all its various forms. You surrender to receiving all the love in the universe. You are worth loving. You have a kind and compassionate heart that is safe for you to share with the world. Remembering to breathe. As you have now balanced and aligned this chakra, you have created the foundation for you to cultivate new attitudes that lead to new behaviors of trusting love and having a willingness to enter into relationships with an open, loving heart, without walls, without protections. You have heightened your awareness around all of the subtle and the obvious ways that you created protection. How your ego creates separation. As you now choose to melt these walls and melt these defenses so that you can move towards connection. So that your heart can be open and flowing, allowing you the opportunity to move towards love instead of away from it, knowing the truth that any protection that inhibits the flow of love is destructive and not protective. As you are now more aware of all the subtle and obvious ways in which you attempt to protect yourself, you allow yourself to surrender pride and any behavior that creates distance and separation. You are now committed to allowing yourself to be vulnerable, seeing the benefit of that choice and how it enables you to be closer to those around you, feeling more connected, more intimate, and more loving than ever before. Trusting that it is safe for you to move towards love, to have an open and vulnerable, connected intimacy in all of your relationships now, holding truth in the center of your consciousness, knowing it is a wiser and a healthier choice to surrender the ego, the fear and the protections, and connect in an open-hearted way with compassion, with kindness, understanding and forgiveness towards yourself and others. You now choose to see the strength that resides within your vulnerability. And this allows your defenses to simply melt away, giving you the freedom to create closer bonds and deeper intimacy, both with yourself and with your loved ones. And the benefits from this choice are tremendous, facilitating greater love and greater intimacy in your life, creating a stronger and a healthier heart. As your heart can now realize its optimum functioning and its optimum health, as it is liberated from the confines of protection. As your heart now heals all past hurts and wounds that emanated from and originated in the trauma of disconnection, betrayal, and separation, you reclaim your capacity to trust the continued presence of love in your body and in your life, so that you can broaden your range of choices, allowing you to come from gentleness, from kindness, from love. As you make the choice to extend more love and more compassion towards yourself and others, you find there is a never-ending supply of love available to you, a continuously replenishing supply of love energy that you are creating through your wise choices and your wise behaviors. As you expand to integrate the presence of this healing energy, you notice a greater sense of health, happiness, and vitality in your life. And this newfound energy settles into a greater sense of peace and well-being in your life and in your body. And as you cultivate these new attitudes, the new behaviors naturally follow. You will find yourself having a greater acceptance for all that is, and seeing that everything is exactly as it should be. And you will see your relationships becoming more harmonious, with a deep and profound connectedness and intimacy. And you will more easily recognize the harmony in everything, in nature, and in all of your relationships. You more readily and more easily have the opportunity to see the love and the light in others. And you now choose unconditional love for yourself and for others. As you now allow these truths to settle in your fourth chakra that you have cleared and healed and transformed, so that you are connected to the truth of your being. In a moment, I will count from 1 to 5. And if you should choose to continue to rest, you will continue to rest by the time I reach 5. And should you choose to wake up, you will wake up by the time I reach 5. 1, 2, 3, 4,